Here we are with another Friday Night Live, January 20th, 2023. Hope everybody's doing amazing. We are still in the mild winter zone. It's a nice blessing, nice winter we're having. Hardly any snow. Mostly in the plus sides. What more can we ask for? Sunshine would be nice. We have clouds in the forecast and rain in the forecast over the next week or so. Some sunshine would be nice. We had Sunday was a nice, beautiful sunny day. All day, beautiful sunshine. Outside driving around instead of walking. But yeah. Interesting times we're at, right? Interesting times. Living and loving is one of the last things on most of our minds. It's everything we're being bombarded with. That's the one thing that will help us tremendously. Being in that zone, in that space where we can clearly see the clouds be dissipated, so we get the clearer vision. And we start, our answers start appearing more and more so. So, if anybody's on, give me a thumbs up. If you can hear me. I guess we got another quiet night. Give it a few minutes if anybody shows up. George, hey George, how you doing? Hope you're doing great. Doing well, my friend. Excellent. Awesome. That's what we want to hear, you know. Doing well. This being in this field, you know, running this group and so on and so forth. We hear a lot of the opposite until people start doing the work, and then the wellness comes, and it's a blessing. Doing the work is not something that many people are interested, that's for sure. Not from my experience. It's easy for any one of us to fall into the social trap, you know, and sway away from what's really important, you know, our health and well-being. Without our health and well-being, nothing else will happen. So that's our relationship with our Creator would probably be number one, and then our health and well-being would be number two. And of course, our relationships and so on and so forth would be right there. And, you know, having family and friends around that we can share our life experiences is a great thing. I hear you always keep coming back to this lifestyle. Things are crazy out there in the world. Everyone around me gathered sicker and sicker. Yeah. It's heartbreaking these last couple of years, especially of what's going on. It's heartbreaking. And we're not here to preach to anybody. We're here for those who are ready to take charge of their health, and doesn't matter. Everything's possible. Everything can be tackled. The soul can do any work in healing, physicality. We've seen it over and over and over again, thousands of times. So it's up to each individual to make the choice. We're not out there preaching that, you got to make some changes, blah, 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 or no, man. Each one of us has free will, and if people need help, we're here. But it's heartbreaking. Never seen anything like this ever in all my life. I know that's what's happening in the last couple of years. So we have protocol that can help anybody, and we have the To the Rescue formula that we would highly suggest people add. That one formula is moving, and there's challenges in everything now, in trying to get anything. So some herbs are back ordered here and there, and it's a crazy time. So now's a good time to to prepare, stock up on herbs and so on and so forth, because if you have not noticed, it was never a good time, but now especially it's not a good time to rely on the pharma cartel. It's a given. If you can't see that, I've always said it was a satanic, the whole basics of it. It's a horrific system. Do they help people? Absolutely, they have to help some people. Otherwise, if everybody croaked going into them, they would nobody would be going. But that would be interesting. Nowadays, people still going, even though they've seen what they're capable of and what they are doing. So it's very interesting times. That's for sure. I always want to ask a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Well, that's what we're here for. Have collected over the past few months. Absolutely. Go ahead, shoot. We're here for supporting each other, answering questions as best as we can through our many decades of experiences and thousands of other people's experiences. So, there hasn't been that many new questions, for example, that we couldn't have some kind of answer for. It's very, very rare that we get something new. But what's been happening the last couple of years is something new. But the answer is always the same. Living the lifestyle is basically what the answer is. We got to make some changes, because if we don't, what are we going to do? Go for help to the people who created the problem? You can do that. It's just your choice. But right now, that would be the absolute last place to turn to in case of an emergency, right? Does the plasma pudding mix ever go bad? No. I have some left over for 1 year ago that I want to use. No, it's the husk, psyllium husk. What can go bad? It's just the husk, right? It's just plant material. And the charcoal is burnt to hell, so that can't go bad. And the clay, it's just rock, right? It's volcanic from volcanic from the lava. It's bentonite clays from the volcanic, you know. So yeah, I have I ordered a huge bag of psyllium, you know, a 50-pound bag or something, just to have, and tons of clay and charcoal, and you know, charcoal. Charcoal, just that one product, which is in a higher order state. You know, if people with digestive issues and so on and so forth, hit the charcoal. You know, half a teaspoon, go up to teaspoon a day, or go even more. You know, in your plasma pudding, you can add more, or you know, you can take it any way you want. You can actually, if you're eating, you can even put it on your food, because it really has no flavor. It's neutral in flavor. It doesn't change the taste of things, for me anyway. If you don't bother the black color, it doesn't bother you. You know, you can put in anything, but in the plasma pudding, you know, if you're having, you know, digestive irritable bowel syndrome or something, up the charcoal. You know, up the charcoal. The reason there's challenges in there is because of obstruction. So, you know, we want to clean that out. But in the meantime, to assist you and gas and everything, charcoal, just up the charcoal. Half teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoons, 2 teaspoons, and watch what happens. You'd be pleasantly surprised. Thought so. We'll use them then. When a level 3 or 4, what is your experience advice in terms of MS days being consecutive or not? When you do them consecutive, you get more of the cleansing effect than when you skip days. And you know, for emotionally, mentally, it's easier for people to do things in a row as well, where instead of like maybe doing every other day. Some people may have the frame of mind to do that, but you get a better purge if you're doing 3-4 days in a row, I find. And then you eat those, you know, hopefully you're on the hybrid on the eating days, or you know, just eating very, very low obstruction and clean, you know, mostly fruit and leafy greens and stuff like that. But yeah, you could do it anyway, really, if you have that capability. But definitely in all in a row is going to be a better purge, and that's what we're after, to be in a continuously purging state for the most part of our lifestyle diets, right? You know, some people are doing it on a bi-weekly basis. Some people are doing it like every 3 or 4 weeks. You know, some people, I remember doing like a, you know, a week or 9 days in a row every month. Everybody's gonna, you know, find their way on how to do it. You know, if we look at in the past, and when people were doing 108 days and the mind-boggling transformations people went through, you know, to go down into those these highest level of healing, we need to strip the layers. We need to strip the layers. And that's why when you're going for all those weeks, you're stripping and stripping and stripping, and that's where the soul can really do its magic, you know. But then again, what do you do after? That's the big question. So living it as a lifestyle on a week-to-week basis, you know, or on a month-to-month basis at the minimum, it's going to be rooted as our lifestyle. It's not we're going in, we're going to have an event for 30, 40, 108 days, and then who knows, all hell breaks loose, because it's something that we have no clue on on how we're going to react when we start putting food back in our mouth. And that's the big challenge that people have had. People think they can handle it, and that's not what we've seen. So when you train yourself doing it over and over and over on a week-to-week or on a month-to-month basis, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot. And that's the key. Through the experiences is the only way that we will learn. Listening to other people's experiences is beautiful and wonderful. So when we're going through the experience, we can relate, because just listening to people without having us ourselves go through that experience, I don't see how people can have the understanding. I don't see it. I haven't seen it. It's only, and even people who've gone through, like, inventing it, some people still have not gotten the picture. It's maybe partly they just because we see what people do, and questions they ask and so on and so forth, and then everything is revealed. It's we don't have all the answers, but we do have a good principle foundation and protocol that works, and works really well. When you want to get to the highest levels of healing, I haven't seen anything outside of master fasting that does it. Master fasting is a glorified dry fast. Everything revolves around the dry fast, and it's why we see the magic that we do see, because we support the dry fast better than anybody else out there. It's simple. Support the dry fast. I'm watching what people are doing out there. It's actually scary. The way some people are breaking fasts and so on. My goodness gracious. I just was talking to somebody, it was a few days ago or last week, and he knew somebody who did a 40-day water fast and dropped dead after he broke it, eating everything and anything. You can't do these things. People who believe that they're different than all the rest of us and they can get away with it. No, if they survive, good luck, good on them. But you're taking big risks when you're not breaking a fast properly, especially after you're doing 30, 40 days of master fasting. Just asking for trouble. And hey, what do we know? People do 30, 40 days, and they know more than all the experiences we've had. It's okay. That's what people want to believe, and people will follow these other people because it all sounds great what they're doing, right? Where are we here? Yeah, I like the lifestyle approach much better for sure, easier to integrate. Last question for heart palpitations. I remember there was a video with some helpful many years ago, info many years ago, but can't locate it. Any advice you have in terms of tools? The heart mudra, index finger, the base of the thumb, and the thumb touches the two middle fingers and the pinky sticking out, and just do your breath work and just stay there as long as you have to. It should help you with palpitations, but palpitations, from my experience, I've had all that palpitations. I had a heart murmur. For the most part, what triggers heart palpitations is some kind of medications and or environmental chemicals or household chemicals. These things in the physical body are what make the heart go erratic. And once you clear this stuff out, you will be done with heart palpitations. for the most part. When you start fasting, people start fasting, they will get these kind of things, and it's just because the body is trying to move out these obstructions. So we use the tools, load up on extra herbs, heart, make sure you have heart formulas, for sure, just to support the heart, because if the heart can't pump blood, which is our sewer system, not our feeding system, like what's been taught. If the heart does not move blood, we will perish, as we know. That's how important the sewer system is. It's so important. It has to continuously be moving, oxygenated. That's how important it is. Just think about that. It has to continuously be oxidizing all the waste that's moving through the veins, and it's attached to emotion, whereas the lymph system is our energy system, and it's attached to physicality. It's attached to the physicality of our being, and it doesn't have a pump, so it needs to be in the consistency of basically like water for it to flow nicely. If the lymph is stagnant, we're going to be having misery, pain, and suffering. The blood's always moving, so it's not the blood. If we're having stagnant lymph, then we know we need to be cleaning out. And how do we know we have stagnant lymph? Well, we're in misery, pain, and suffering. That's how we know we have stagnant lymph. Anytime you have blockages, of energy, we have pain. So if the shoulders has pain, we have blockages of lymph flow, and depending where it is in the body. So just jumping on a rebounder and not changing anything else ain't gonna help you. It'll help move some lymph, but it ain't gonna help purge the lymph. The only thing that we know that purges all obstructions and all the levels, physical, mental, and emotional, is fasting. It's just because it's a spiritual journey that we embrace and we learn to love. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, I suspect some old junk is coming out and irritating the heart area, to be honest, with the associated emotions, of course. Oh yeah, emotions, of course. But yeah, try the heart mudra. You can that's all you need to know. It's that simple. Base of the finger, index finger to base of the thumb, tips of the thumb to the tips of the two middle fingers. So you got that. Very simple, and just do your breath work. Even when you're lying in your bed, you can do that until you fall asleep. And some people find it instantly helps, gets rid of their heart palpitations, or if the heart's speeding or whatever, because when we're doing dry fasting, you start getting a lot of heart things. And it's scary for people, but when I was going through this way back, the only thing I had was Arnold Ehret's book, and so I just figured, okay, this has got to be part of detox, and it doesn't feel good, but I'm going to keep going because I didn't know any better. And lo and behold, after working at it for a few years, finally got rid of that heart murmur. And if I ingesting certain foods out there, and they have chemicals, I may get a little bit of palpitations as the body's trying to move that stuff out. So just a reminder, hey, you can clean yourself, get rid of this stuff, because you don't know what's in the foods out there. Yeah. So yeah, we got to be careful with the heart, support it. The kidneys support the heart. Need to always be working on the kidneys. Kidneys are very, very important. And of course, cleaning the bowels, the whole system. Everything is crucial and very important. Every part of the system is there, not because we pulled it out of a hat. It's years and years, decades of doing different things, experiments, learning from many different wonderful teachers and implementing them, and then And then, MasterFast came to be. So everything is there for a reason, even though people don't understand. We've been explaining all these things and why they're all there for a long time. So they're all very, very important, very important. Every single part of the system is important. That's why I just keep rereading the protocol over and over and over again. You're going to get different information as you continuously fast over and over and over again. You'll get different information from what you're reading in the protocol. It's because it's all the decades of experiences that are in there. So yeah, that's awesome, George. Just keep purging. You can solve that issue, and then when you're ready down the road, go for 30-40 days on a level 7, right? And then make sure you don't go back down to level 1 or 2 or 7 days eating. You need to stick with it, and then work with that. And then when you're ready in another year or so, you can do longer ones, but a little bit at a time. I thought mankind was ready for 108 days. They were ready for the drama, but they weren't ready for living and loving it, because that's all we talked about. This is a lifestyle. From day one, go back in all the posts and videos, I always talk about lifestyle. Okay, Barbara, hi. Can we speak of incontinence? Thanks. It's obstructions. This is simple, basic obstructions causing things to not be able to function the way they're designed. The obstructions are in the way of the operations of the urinary tract or the bowels, right? It's too simple. It's too simple. Obstructions. That's all we talk about. It's obstructions. Oh no, it's because of you're lacking this mineral and that vitamin and this amino acid and that fat, and no, it's that simple. Obstructions: physical, mental, emotional, and emotions override everything else. So the emotions will bring in why we're doing things in the physicality, and affects the mental and so on and so forth. So clean out, and the incontinence will fix itself. We don't have to know how, but the only thing we need to know is what state do I need to put my body in to allow it to heal? And that question is easily answered as fasting lifestyle, because it's a spiritual journey first and foremost. And when we focus on the spirit, right? We focus on the spirit, the physicality takes care of itself. We've seen it over and over and over. So, kidneys, if it's urinary, you got to be working on the kidneys. Start massaging the kidneys, burnt stick, doing your breath work, movement. Movement, of course, eating clean. Fruit's going to be your friend, your best friend. Fresh, ripe fruit's going to be your friend versus anything else. Fruit is the least obstructive. So on eating days, it would be wise to stick to mostly fruit. There's so much negative talk about fruit out there. It's just like, whoa, unreal. Luciferian agendas in full force, as we say. Fruit is your best friend. It's the easiest and least obstructive, easiest to digest, least obstructive food for mankind. And people can argue all they want. It is what it is. And people don't get in trouble when they go fruitarian because of the fruit. This is a huge misconception because of the sugar. It's because of obstructions, physical, mental, emotional. And you got to clean all that stuff before you can start finding some balance. And this, like as we say, 9 years is a good start. 9 years is a good start. So you can do castor oil packs down in the bladder area. You can do castor oil packs 3 days on the bladder, 3 days on the kidneys, because you need 3 days off, right? And on the area you're doing it. So you can do 3 days on the kidneys, 3 days on the bladder, 3 days on the kidneys, 3 days on the bladder, and keep doing it for a few weeks or a few months if you have to, and see how that works. Also, a cold plunging. Finish your showers with cold water. You can do hot and cold packs. Heat, ice, finish with cold, and then do your breath work and movement. So there's many things we're trying to help, with the hot and cold to help move obstructions when we're in a fasting state, because the body is trying to purge. So any help that we can give it to move things out, up on the load up on the herbal support for sure, because they are our highly elevated friends. And yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Thank you for being you and being willing to talk about anything. One day crazy anxiety and the next day pain. I'm told I have bone on bone and bones fusing. Yikes. Well, Barbara, make the choice or not. Choice is always yours, right? It's not easy in this world that we live in. It's not easy. Lifestyle is very simple. It's simple. The structure of the lifestyle is simple, but it's not easy to implement in the society with our family and friends and so on and so forth. Herbal support, tinctures. Yes, tinctures and tea and tea. Yeah, we load up on tinctures and tea. That's part of the protocol, right? Plasma pudding, part of the protocol. Enemas, part of the protocol. Fasting, part of the protocol. Dry fasting is part of the protocol. Breath work, part of the protocol. Skin brushing, part of the protocol. Getting enough sleep, part of the protocol. Naps if you have to, your breath work, if I didn't mention that, and so on and so forth. Everything there is to have extreme changes, we need to make extreme changes in our life. And it's not going to be something easy, but it can be done slowly over time so that, we're continuously making changes and improving ourselves. In the end of 1 or 2 or 3, 5 years, we're going to have massive changes in our lifestyle. And it's not going to be easy for some people to probably walk away from certain relationships and so on and so forth that are not serving us. Too much controversy, and because I've seen one too many times where the family comes in, somebody's trying to heal through fasting lifestyle, they're losing weight, and they're getting pressured to go to stop and go to doctors, and then they're gone. So everybody's got to make their own choices, and you got to tell your loved ones, if you love me and you support me, you will support me in any decision I make, and this is what I'm choosing to do. And if this is how I end up leaving the physical body, so be it. Because it'll be a much more pleasant transition from leaving the physical body as well through a fasting lifestyle than through an eating lifestyle. I can assure you, because it's a spiritual journey. And I've had people that thanked me. They knew they were going, and they thanked me for the journey. And then they left. They left physical body because it was their time. There was just too much butchery and too much suffering and too much pain, and it was just their journey. So, yeah, the healing business is not always fun and games. When we see people, recover and heal and immense transformations, it's all beautiful and wonderful. But there's the other side. People are going to be leaving their physical body. It's just the way it is. And it's their time's up. When we get that tap on the shoulder from our divine creator, and let's go, we leave the physical body. There's nothing we can do. We have no control over that. If people think they're going to be able to stop that, good luck. This is, so yeah, one day at a time. One day at a time. The best time to start is now. Now is always a good time. And make the choice. I think I got all the questions here. Awesome. Yeah, this. People have even asked me about the juice. If the juice is over the expired date, the only thing I can say is what I would do. I would use it, and even if it's fermenting, which I have done, I've just reboiled it and I drank it. I have no issues with it. If it turned to wine, you're going to get drunk if it ferments too long. The date on there is just dates for legal purposes. They have to put expiration dates on food stuff and items. And for juice, just reboil it, and I drank it. I've drank expired juice. No issues with myself. Still works. Tinctures are the MFS tinctures only get better with age. The kidney tea and the other teas, they'll be good for several years, especially if you keep them in the fridge. In a put it in like in a jar or a paper bag or something. Keep in the fridge or in the freezer if you want to store it for long term. I've frozen fresh herbs, and they're next best to fresh herbs, and then of course the dried comes after that. So whenever you have availability in your area to pick fresh herbs, do that. Learn about the herbs in your area. We've always mentioned this to people. Learn about what herbs grow in your area. Pine trees are everywhere, pretty much. Not everywhere, but big portion of the planet you can find. Pine trees, the long pine, the white pine, those are really good. So yeah. Everything we've been taught is pretty much a lie. It's just fascinating to see what I've been talking about for so many years, and all the evidence is coming out to support these things. The whole system is based on lies. The whole medical system, the pharma cartel, it's all based on lies. And some people want to still believe in it. Okay, well, that's your choice. We all have free will to choose our own belief systems. But people are not choosing the belief system. It's being programmed. The belief system is being programmed into people. And they think it's their belief system. Surprise. But you know, the whole virus thing, it's another, I don't even want to go there, but anyway. Yeah, so every morning, every night before you go to bed, you know, make a choice. And when you wake up, reinforce the choice you make. When you put your feet on the ground, reinforce the choice you made. You know, today's my fasting day. Today's my dry fasting day. Today's my eating fruit day. You know, and make those choices daily. Make the good choices daily. And every once in a while, today, I think I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to have some cooked kale or something, or cooked broccoli. We made, was it last week? I made pizza. I used kamut flour and I mixed it with charcoal and the plasma pudding. I put extra charcoal, and I put mushrooms and onions, and I cooked it just like that. I cooked the crust, and then after the crust was cooked, I put raw peppers, put raw spinach, I put what else did I put on there? Tomatoes, okra, all raw. I put everything raw. It was really good, you know, not too, it came out, you know, because I make it very, very, very thin. It's just to hold, to be like a pizza. So that was, you know, we've made this in the past in different ways with, we made it with, what's it called? Cauliflower, and we've made it with, instead of flour, we made a cauliflower and we made it with zucchini. That works too. But these are things that you do, you know, once in a while, you know, every 4, 5, 6 months. You don't want to do this stuff regular. And if you're doing a lot of fasting and you're doing, you know, mainly fruits, this stuff is going to be very heavy, depending on how you make it. You can make raw crusts, dehydrated crust, right? You can look into, there's many people who have recipes for that. You can do that instead. It would be better. But I'm just saying, you know, these are, you know, cheap things that you can do once in a while. You don't want to be doing these things very often. Anyway, next day, you know, not too much issues. It was okay going through me because I'm very sensitive to grains. But for me, kamut is one of the least problematic ones. I still feel it, but it's not as much as the other grains. So everybody's different. Like wheat is one of the worst. You know, rye is better than wheat, and for if you do sourdoughs, you can do sourdoughs. If you can make a kamut sourdough, you can find out how to do that. It takes time to make a sourdough. If you don't want to use any yeast, you can. I don't know. It takes a few days or something. But yeah. Sticking to fruit, today we had chocolate oranges, nice chocolate navel oranges. I think they're from Spain. The prices of fruit has gone cuckoo. $13 for 6 oranges. It's not like it used to be, that's for sure. Times have changed. To be a fruitarian, yeah. It's not cheap anymore, as it once was. But yeah, you know, citrus is are wonderful fruits, which they're in season through the winters here. Season places they grow. It's hard to get good fruit in the winter, especially lots of unripe ones. Yeah, but you know, as the saying goes, even the unripe ones, even unripe fruit is better than anything else. It's the challenge is when it's not, beautifully ripe, it's tough to eat only that and be satisfying, but it's still going to be better than anything else. As far as I'm concerned, as least obstructive. Greens, not grains, greens, leafy greens are way more time consuming and challenging for the body to process than fruit. I go with apples, grapes, or frozen wild berries for the winter. Bananas, yeah, great. Yeah, apples, find them all year round. They're from the fall time and they keep them. Grapes, yeah, grapes are awesome. We love grapes. And berries are awesome. We love berries. Bananas, I love bananas. I love all these fruit. So yeah, whatever works for you. And just keep it going. The simpler we eat, the better our physicality will be. When we start complicating things, we want to have pizza. Oh, we want to have it once a week now. It's not going to be, body's not going to be happy. Once you've been living a cleansing lifestyle, the body is not going to be happy eating the obstructive things. Like I said, the pizza, I can't remember what we put on it, but put mostly raw things on it. Yeah. The fermented vegetables. Some people like eating fermented vegetables. You can have that stuff once in a while. It's is it easier for the body to break down? I guess. But fruit is in a whole different category. The whole fruit kingdom. And of course, there's some fruits that take longer to digest than others, especially if you go into the fatty fruits, right? Avocados, very obstructive. You can have a baked squash and it'll be less obstructive than a raw avocado. Then you go into the durian, you got the 70% fat from avocado, 30% approximately of durian, depending varieties. And then you got olives, about 20% fat. So, we can eat these things, it's better to stay on the lower end side, better stay on olives and durian every once in a while than avocado, in my opinion, my understanding. And if we can stay without fat, you'll feel the body working better. The more polluted areas we live, the more we want to crave fats because it helps numb us out so we don't feel all the bombardment that we're getting on our physicality. There are so many wonderful fruits from Florida and South America most people never tried. Absolutely. There's so much fruit. It's incredible, the varieties. We got mangoes. The mangoes, the prices have gone cuckoo. The only thing that's still pretty cheap is the bananas and apples. Even the apples have gone up and the bananas have gone up, but they're still relatively cheap compared to with some of the other stuff like the persimmons. The prices are crazy. $3-4 a pound. And used to be able to buy a case, for $8-10. Now a case will be probably $30-40. So the costs of everything have gone cuckoo. Yeah. So if you have, if you're implementing fasting, if you are able to cut your food consumption by 50%, you save 50%, and your life will be you'll be in a much healthier state, and you'll have a longer life if we don't get taken out by some accident or something. Generally, we will have a longer life. This has been shown in studies with the mice and rats. and cut their food consumption by half, they live longer every time. The studies never fail. So what does that tell us? Food is the road to death. The more we eat, the faster we will die. It's, it's shorter our lifespan. So it's a matter of reprogramming our belief system to not have food as a necessity. We only use food for pleasure. We change our belief system that food is just for pleasure. We don't need to eat. Even though we're eating, we don't need to eat. We want to change the belief system. And when we start, reprogramming that over and over and over again, we start believing that. And when we cut our food supply to 50%, we're not going to have, too many issues as we've been cleansing over years. The body's going to be able to handle, working on the fields very efficiently when we purged so many obstructions out of our physicality. Because that's why it doesn't function well, is because of obstructions, just like incontinence, right? So obstructions, move out the obstructions, and it restores, it regenerates, and the functions and the tissue regeneration, all that stuff, nerve regeneration, all these things happen when we purge, not before purging. We don't see these true regenerations of nerves and everything until we purge we purge out all that caca, and then we see the magic happen. So stay focused, folks. Ladies and gents, stay focused. We are in interesting times. We will get through this somehow. Many people are partying, and let's pray for everybody and elevate their souls, peace, balance, correct conduct, so they may see. Barbara, Logans, and Mame, and Suriname. I don't know what that is. Suriname cherry. Sea grapes. Oh yeah, sea grapes. Actually, had some of those today. Those are awesome. Rose apples, egg fruit, durian, jackfruit. Yeah, all this beautiful stuff. Like jackfruit. Just think about jackfruit, how big that thing is, how many people that could feed. It's just awesome. Right? It's just awesome. Jackfruit. These things, massive things hanging off the tree. Yeah, there's so much fruit. Mangosteen. We've talked about citruses, so many different citruses, oranges, tangerines, mandarins, grapefruits, pomelos. Well, there's all kinds. It's just like amazing, the fruit kingdom. Just go online and look at different countries and what kind of fruit that grows, and you'll be shocked at how many types of fruit they have. All the different seasons, lemons, limes, miracle fruit. Yeah. I don't know what that one is. Miracle fruit. Gotta look that up. Rambutan, is that what they're called? Rambutan? Those red things? Oh, there's so much stuff, man. Figs. Oh, the figs, the peaches, pears, plums. It goes on and on. Like I can't even remember them all. Just every season you see the different fruits going through, and we enjoy them. We enjoy it. Makes anything citrus wonderfully sweet. Miracle fruit, eh? Interesting. And then again, you got the melons and the berries. And we've talked about like melons and all the melons, just so many types of melons these days that are available. You know, cantaloupe, canary, honeydew, Santa Claus melon. You know, all the different types of watermelon, all the different colors of watermelon. Yeah, just, when you get a really good melon, it's just beautiful. You know, anytime you're having challenges with kidneys, melons are going to be your friend. They really are. They're going to be here to help you because we say the word hydrate, it doesn't really hydrate that way, and it helps you know, move out fluid. You know, when we're have edema, you know, holding too much fluid in our body. Melons, when you, of course, fasting, but melons while we're eating, that would be the choice of fruit to go to. I remember people had problems; they were using the watermelon for master fasting, and they had great results with that. So yeah, embrace, enjoy, and voila, another hour's gone by. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy every moment. Life is beautiful. I know, Barbara, you like making people laugh. That's awesome. You know, we need to laugh. We all need more laughter in our lives. It's such a persimmons, yeah. Yeah, I love persimmons. I've been eating persimmons as well. Prices have gone cuckoo on those too. Cherries, you mentioned cherries. So many different types of cherries: black cherry, red cherry, sour cherry, white cherry. Just beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Apricots. Raisins. If you can get good raisins. They had these beautiful Afghanistan raisins, black ones. They had nothing added to them, no oils and no sulfites. Oh, they had green ones and they had white ones, and they had sulfites in them. So the black ones, they didn't have sulfites. We wash them in ozone and they're just beautiful, beautiful raisins. You know, if you can't find juice for whatever reason, you can make your juice with raisins. You can, you know, boil the raisins and with water, and you can drink that and squeeze it all out, and you can make your Master Fast juice. There's always a way. There's a will, there's a way. There's things are getting challenging to get. We have to compromise. We have to do the best we can. And if you can't find the dark juices, use, you know, the lighter juices. They're not going to be have the same power, but they're still going to have more power than the raw juices, right? Thank you, Gino. Have a good night. I'll try to join next Friday. Okay. Thank you, George. Thank you, everybody. Let's keep the plasma love flowing, and we'll see you back on the page. See you back Wednesday, and then of course Friday again. And have a great evening, day, morning, wherever you are. Thank you so much, and always a blast. Ciao for now.